Hi everyone, Sebastian here. So today I want to talk about the differences and the similarities between the Micro Pro on my right and the Mini Pro on my left. So after the initial launch of the Mini Pro, this was such a success that I literally had no choice but to do an adaptation of the Mini Pro for the Mega and then for the Micro. So this is what this video is about. What made the Mini Pro highly successful was the fact that the Mini Pro was the first Lagree machine to combine a lift in the platform with a lift in the carriage. Okay, so I already did a video introducing the Mini Pro. I'll do a quick recap over here. The front platform has a latch, and you can essentially angle it anything you want. This is fantastic because it allows you to experience the same exercise differently. These angles will change the target muscles a little bit when you work out. So it's a fantastic addition to the Lagree family. And on the carriage, you also have a lift, but the lift can only be done, only go to one level. So what we did here, we selected the same angle, which is basically about a 15-degree angle. And that angle is what I call the V position. And that V position, let me tell you, is a game changer for every exercise which combines the front platform and the carriage. Exercises like the catfish, the twister, the spoon, the bear, the wheelbarrow, the plank, the runner's lunge, the skating, the standing in the thighs, standing out of thighs, side plank, and blah, 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 blah. Over 1,000 exercises are enhanced with the V position. So obviously, when that machine came out, my brain started to go just like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I did a Mega version of the Mini Pro, and I already did a video comparing the Mini Pro against the Mega. The Mega is a little different because it has an additional panel on the back of the carriage. So the Mega has 4 tilts or 4 panels that lift up. The Mini Pro only has 3 because you have the front platform, you have the carriage, and the back platform if you choose to have that. So after the Mega and the Mega, these panels on the Mega just catapulted the sales on the Mega. So then I had no choice. I'm like, I have to make a version for the Micro. So I did the Micro Pro. By the way, I'm also working on a version for the Evo. So next year you will see the Evo Pro. And of course, when it comes out, I'll do a video comparing all of the Pro series. So let's talk about the Micro Pro very quickly over here. I already did a video comparing the Micro against the Micro Pro. I already did a video comparing the Micro Pro lifted against the Mini Pro lifted. So I'm sorry, some of the conversation is going to be a little bit of a repeat. Sometimes I need it for reference. So the Micro Pro has the same latch as the Mini Pro. Latch over here, it can go to the first position. It can also go all the way up, okay? We did not do all the same position for the Micro Pro because we didn't feel it was necessary. The most important position, again, is the V position. So the Micro Pro has a latch like the Mini Pro for the front platform. For the lift on the carriage, it operates exactly like the Mega. You lift it up, it goes up. You lift it up, it goes down, okay? And again, just like the Mini Pro, the platform, the combination of the platform and the carriage, basically that lift mechanism, that V position affects all the exercise which needs the functionality of the platform and the carriage. So the catfish, the twister, the spoon, the bear, the side plank, the cobra, the runner's lunge, skating, everything, right? Same exercise will be affected the same way on the Micro Pro. So I feel that this right over here is going to revolutionize the Micro series. Again, for those of you who have not seen the video comparing the Micro against the Micro Pro, please look at that video because there's a significant difference in the weight, which makes the Micro Pro not a lightweight or portable machine, okay? The Micro is 50 pounds. This is 103 pounds, right? So I'm going to talk about the configuration in a minute. I want to talk about the dimension, and then I'll talk about the configuration, and I'll make some reference to the Micro. So the Micro Pro in this configuration, number 1, so this is the configuration number 1. This is the base unit. When you buy the Micro online, this is what you're getting. Platform, carriage, rail, spring, Micro pulley cable, okay? The width of the Micro Pro is 18.5 inches. It's the same width as the Micro. no change for that. The length is a little different. The length is about 7 inches bigger than the micro. So here's 78 inches, okay? And the reason we made it a little longer is because we have a slightly bigger carriage that we have on the micro, all right? On the Mini Pro, the width is 24 inches, okay? And the length is about 102 inches. So we're talking about a difference of 5.5 inch in the width between the Micro Pro and the Mini Pro. And we're talking about a difference of 23 inches in the length. And to me, the Micro Pro is more of a substitute to the Mini Pro than the Micro Pro is a substitute to the Micro. I really see the Micro as a stand on its own category, machine. This is more, I think, a substitute for an in-studio use rather than an event, okay? So when you buy the Mini Pro, configuration number 1, same exact configuration. This is called the base unit. You get the platform, you get the carriage, you get the rail, you get the springs, you get the micro pulley cables, okay? So this is sold right now. The launching price is $1,590. The regular price is $1,990. This is sold $2,990. So right now you have a saving of about $1,400. Later on, it'll be $1,000. So that $1,000 makes a difference when you buy 10 machines or 20 machines, okay? And it also makes a difference when you have a studio as small as 40, 50, or 60 square meters, which is about 400, 500, 600 square feet. A lot of studios right now are opening with small capacity. If you're going to open a studio with 500 square feet, and I'll talk about this a bit later, the Micro Pro might actually be your solution. I know a lot of people are obsessed with the Mega, but 500 square feet is a very small studio, so I feel like the Micro Pro will actually be a better machine because you can literally put more. The fact that it's a smaller machine and essentially a narrower machine, right? 18 and a half, 24 compared to a Mega Pro, 31 inches. So we're almost talking about half the width. So it's nothing to sneeze at, and I think there's something to reconsider. But let's look at how the dimension kind of changes when you add the accessories. So online, you buy your Micro Pro, your Mini Pro, and you look at the configuration number 1, this is what you get. Then you can accessorize your Micro and your Mini Pro. So what you can do is you can buy the side handles. These side handles are identical. You can put them on the front of the machine, okay? Or you can put on the back. On the website, we sell them as front handle and back handles. That's just because we tried to just sell them as just regular handles, and people never understood the difference in the front and the back. They wanted to know which one for the front, which one for the back. They're the same handles. So whether if you buy the front handles, you put them on the back, or you buy the back handle, put them on the front, it doesn't matter. It's the same handles, okay? Same thing for the Mini Pro. These Mini Pro handles, they're the same. Whether you put them on the front or on the back, it doesn't matter, okay? Now, when you add the handles, now your width goes from 24 inch to 28 inches, the width of an Evo, essentially. And now you go from 18.5 to 24 inches. Now you have the width of a Mini Pro. So the handles do add some size or do add some space, to the machine. So now if you have, let's say, your Mini Pro or the Micro Pro base with the side handles, we call this configuration number 2. Okay, it's the same configuration for both machines. They have the same accessories. You remove the side handles, okay, and you decide, okay, I don't want that, but I'm going to get the rear platform over here. So you put the rear platform, you put it on the back. Now, here's called configuration number 3. You buy the rear platform for your Mini Pro, you put it on the back over here, but you don't have the side handles. So this is also called configuration number 3. You add the side handle to this configuration. Guess what? Configuration number 4. It really is not easy. It's really not that difficult, guys. A lot of people are confused, but that's because I don't think you spend the time to understand. Now, over here, you have the 2 platforms, front and back, the side handles. Configuration number 4, configuration number 4. What would be configuration number 5? It would be this plus an extra side of side handles. Moses is going to add those side handles right over here so you can see that. Mini Pro with the side handles on the back as well. Mini Pro number 5. And now we come to the lift kit. So you can add the exact same lift kit. You don't need to say Micro Pro lift kit. This is the mini lift kit. This is what lift the Mini Pro, and the Micro Pro, okay? So that lift kit can be applied to the Mini Pro or the Micro Pro. It's gonna lift it to the same height. By the way, right now, the height of the Micro Pro is about 6 inches. The height of the Mini Pro, 6 inches. So when that lift kit goes underneath both machines, it's gonna lift it to about 16.5, 16.75, same height, okay? When you add the lift kit to the Micro Pro and it's fully loaded, this becomes the Micro Pro number 6. When you add the lift kit to the Mini Pro, it becomes the Mini Pro number 6. So same configuration, same accessories, okay? Both machines can use the straps, they can use the bungee, they can also use the standing pole, which is highly recommend, to the workout. So as you can see over here, there's a big difference in the size, kind of a considerable difference also in the price of the machines. So that already, the price, the size, and the weight, that can already help you to determine, maybe which machine is really, best for me to use at the studio. There are a couple other elements that I want to go over. And essentially, what also made the Mini Pro so successful compared to the Mini is the fact that this has a full-size carriage. That carriage over here is very similar to the Mega carriage. It's essentially the same length as the carriage you have on the Mega. It's a little narrower, okay? But otherwise, it's about the same size for the carriage. The size of the carriage makes a big difference, okay? Because if the carriage is bigger, you can accommodate for exercise like scrambled eggs, exercise like super lunge, exercise like, the Mega Donkey Kick and so on, especially when you're 6'4", I'm 6'4". So I can definitely do the exercise on the Mini Pro. On the Micro Pro, there's no way that my body functions on the carriage. We have made the platform and we have made the carriage a little bigger on the Micro Pro, but it's not big enough to do exercise like the super lunge and scrambled eggs. If you like to do this exercise, you can still do them on the Micro Pro, but you have to stand outside. So if the Micro Pro is flat on the ground, no problem. You can use cables and you can basically recapture this exercise, but you have to be on the floor. On the Mini Pro, no problem. On the Mini Pro, you do the exact same exercise as you do on the Mega or the Evo. There's no questions about it. So the choice of exercise is also going to be a consideration at your studio. If you're a teacher and there are certain sequences that you love and you want to share with everyone else, well, make sure that those exercises are easily adapted on the Micro Pro because they might not be, okay? The other huge difference is the monorail. We have the monorail on the Micro, okay? The monorail on the Micro is more structural than it is, the monorail on both machines is structural, but this also is functional. You can actually step on that rail. You can step on the rail here, but it's just too narrow. And the reason we made a narrow rail is because you're going to use the floor. Okay, we didn't feel the need to add a big fat monorail for the Micro Pro because it would have added more weight and more cost. So we made it narrower. But the minute that you lift this Micro Pro off the ground, then there's a lot of exercise you're going to lose because you can't do them because the Micro Pro is too far up. The Mini Pro, no problem. The Mini Pro, whether you put it up or down, you can still use that rail and do a ton of exercise on the monorail. We started to shoot the exercise on Lagree on demand called the mono exercises, and it's amazing. There's over 1,000 different exercises you can do just combining the monorail and the carriage. I absolutely love it. So that you will not be able to do on the Micro Pro if it's lifted off the ground, right? So there's a lot of possibilities. And I know when you watch those videos, you're like, ooh, it kind of goes over your head. And this is why watching those videos, going on Lagree on demand, watching how the machines are used with different configuration can really help you to make a better decision about the machines. Both machines over here can have the lights, okay? So we have two types of lights coming next year. We have the tempo lights and the range of motion lights. So the tempo lights basically helps you to control the speed. So now it's easier for your class to go slower because it can follow the lights. And these lights are retro-compatible on the Micro and the Mini Pro. So when they come out, you have like a plastic cover over here. Remove the plastic cover, you put your LED light, ready to go. Same thing over here on the Mini Pro. You have two covers over here. You remove them and you put your lights. And you will be able to use the lights to show the tempo. And you will also be able to use those lights to show the range of motion. And that's going to be really cool. I'm very excited about that feature. So both machines have the exact same upgrade possibility. A couple of the changes that we did on the Micro Pro is this, right? So we listen to you, right? The feedback is very important. And I want to show you something. So imagine that these extra platform over here are the exact platform that we have on the front of the Micro and the Mini Pro. So I want to point your attention to a couple improvements that we've done. So when the Micro came out, okay, and I've already done a video comparing the Micro against the Micro Pro, okay? What we did, a lot of people were complaining about the size of the platform. They thought it was too small. So what we did is we used actually a mini platform for the Micro. So over here, you can see that the amount of space that you have on the Mini is exactly the same on the Micro. So the Micro Pro has a mini platform, front platform and back platform. It also has a much thicker, you guys are gonna love how this is comfortable, okay? So in order for us to accommodate for a bigger pad, we had to get rid of the ring of fire. So obviously on the Micro Pro, you don't have a full ring of fire. You only have bits of it. It's just on the front. The other change that we made for the ring of fire is that your ring of fire on the Mini Pro, as you can see, is much thinner than the ring of fire on the Micro. And this ring of fire, or this bit of ring of fire that you see here on the Micro Pro, comes from the Mega Pro. So on the Mega Pro, we did a big fat ring of fire. We use a new foam material. It actually feels amazing, whether you have small hands or big hands. You guys are gonna love how it feels on the palm of your hand. It really helps to spread all the pressure because, you know, when you do an exercise for 2, 3, 4 minutes, it's got to be comfortable on your hands, on your knees and feet and so on. That half ring of fire over here, I'm actually considering redoing the next Mini Pro with potentially that exact same ring of fire because it's a game changer. So the Micro Pro, as you can see over here, has a very similar size for the Mini Pro because it's actually the same platform, okay? On the carriage, as you can notice on the Mini Pro has this full ring of fire. Again, in order for us to do a bigger carriage on the Micro, but not to make the Micro oversized, we had to get rid of the ring of fire as well. So the Micro Pro only has half a ring of fire on the front and on the back. And again, it's exact same bar as this one, so it feels really good. And then the other thing is the indicias on the carriage. So you can see that these numbers over here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are basically the indicias for the range of motion. They're also there to indicate the amount of tension. So sometimes, you know, as you move the carriage further away from the front, you're going to stretch the springs. And as you stretch the springs, you get more tension. For example, the white spring, right? When you stretch the white spring you bring the white spring to level 1, you got 1 pound of tension. But when you bring the white spring all the way back, you're at 6 pounds of tension, right? So you can also use the indicia to kind of show this, you know, with the machine. All right, guys, so here you have the differences and similarity between the Micro Pro and the Mini Pro. And really the food for thought is this, okay, how much space you have to operate. If your studio is going to be 1,000 square feet to 100 square meters, not to worry about this because you can put at least 10 megaformers, right? You always want to have at least 10 people in class. So you could start with the megas and have 10 megas in 1,000 square feet. But if your studio is going to be 40 or 50 or 60 square meters, these are extremely small studios. And we have a lot of studios opening in that capacity. Then at that point, I'm like, man, I'm just not sure if the Mega is really the right choice for you or even the Mini, okay? If you look at a 500 square feet studio, right? We're talking about 50 square meter. You can put 5 megas Maybe you can put 6 megas if your space is laid out exactly like this screen. If it's a nice, beautiful rectangle, there's no obstruction, no obstacles, no columns, no stairs, no whatever, even floor, then you might be able to put 6 megas, in the 500 square feet. The Mini Pros, you definitely can put more than 6. You can put 7, maybe 8 Mini Pros, okay? So already now, you get way more usage out of that same room. But now you go to a Micro Pro, you can put 10. You can put 10 Micro Pros. It makes a big difference. There's a studio in Japan in the financial district, and she's got 9 micros. But in the space that she has, because the space is not a perfect rectangle, it's actually 2 squares that are kind of off like that. It's a weird configuration. Well, she could actually only put 2 megas. So for her, it's a drastic difference. She could operate a class with 2 megaformers or 9 micros. 7 additional people per class. And that's what I really want you to start thinking about this. I've done a lot of videos, talking about how important the machine size is, and especially the width of the machine. And me, I'm starting to work on more machines that are around between 26 inches in width and 20 inches in width, because I realize that it's going to be the battle for basically the next battle. This is the next phase, is to start to create smaller, more compact machine, because most people in the world simply don't have access to spaces that are 200 square meters or 300 square meters, which is basically 2,000 or 3,000 square feet, right? So trying to think for you guys out there, and this is why I made the Micro Pro. So if you're thinking about the Mega Pro and you have a very small studio, do the math with the Mini Pro, but also the Micro Pro. The Micro Pro is definitely a great alternative. The Micro Pro will definitely allow you to have more machines in use. If you have any questions, recommendations, suggestions, please let me know. My name is Sébastien Lagree, and thank you for watching.